Hello and welcome to What's 3D Printing on this wonderful Sunday, July 5th, 2020, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, really 4:07, but
we're on time. It's the rest of you that were early.
That's only because somebody decided to have some audio issues, and it would have been awful had we kept on.
And Glenn just said his heart couldn't take going live without me.
No, absolutely not. That'd be dumb. That'd be like doing a live stream by myself. So
to be signing the whole episode, says Uncle Ron.
What's that?
Uncle Ron says I'm going to be signing the whole episode.
Yeah. You'll just have to type everything you want into chat.
Yep. I'll get text to speech running. We'll be all set.
I'm working on I'm going to call it a secret project because it's going to be a video later.
Oh. Is he frozen for everybody or just for me?
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It dumps once in a while, but it's not connection on my side. I've checked it multiple times, so it's got to have something to do with StreamYard. Scott says there's a faint buzz in the audio. So I'm going to mute my mic and we'll see if it goes away. Did the buzz go away? Now I'm going to mute James. Oh, buzz went away when I froze. So it had something to do with the network connection.
Oh. This first layer is not sticking, so I guess we're gonna can it.
Yeah, so my little project here worked one time. When I first fired it up, it worked, and then now it doesn't work anymore.
Bingo! It is Glenn, says Hack Monkey.
Is it still doing it?
I'm scared to look at the statistics on my prints. I've got almost 48 hours of print time done on here. And 0 actual failures. I hear it's more like static noise, says Popuron. Not enough USB controller resources. Oh, that's interesting. Angry Mike is here, aka Mad Michael. What are you doing, Glenn? Oh, you're replacing your batteries and stuff.
How about now? How does that sound?
You're definitely louder.
Too loud?
I don't know if it's on my side because I turned my stuff up here to catch you. Talk now.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
You're popping a bit.
Okay. It's a different channel on the mixer, so.
Well, it sounds like you got it mixed up.
How about this? Is this better?
A little bit more down, I think. It's still topping out just ever so slightly.
How about this?
I think it's better. I got to turn you back up over here.
Audio 1, 2.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
All right, so here's the dealio. I turned off audio processing inside of StreamYard because it was clipping me. So if this isn't good, I'll have to go in and set that back.
I think it's okay now, but we'll let the fans decide. And then if never a fan showed up,
they say I'm echoing you.
I hear myself a little bit too.
Okay, so let me.
I don't like it. I'm sorry that the rest of you have to listen to me, but that's just the way it is.
All right, so I've turned processing back on. Tom Mama says you're too loud, but I don't agree. I'm really quiet and James is louder. James is echoing. Is James still echoing now? Go ahead and talk, James.
I'm definitely echoing. Oh, wait, never mind. We're good. I'm not echoing.
I turned on processing. Well, of course I sound better. I mean, listen to these wonderful pipes that I have. Oh, man, Mike, you're so sweet. $4.99 for the FK1 Benchy Fund.
How's everybody out there in internet land?
All right, just so that we can get this all worked out, in the next 15 seconds, everybody tell us how our audio is. How is the audio right now?
Do, 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 do.
Don't do that. You're going to be demonetized.
They only get real upset if you use Nintendo music. Do, 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 do. Demonetized. No, it's not that you get demonetized. It's just that they take the revenue from this video.
Right. Yeah, I have one Xander's Thing Thursday that got tagged. I bought the song, but then they said, well, you bought it, but that doesn't mean you can use it in the video. And I'm like, you're right. I didn't think about it.
You admitted somebody else's, right? That's pretty big.
Yeah, they're still saying that you're louder, but you sound fine to me. So do I need to be louder?
I can turn my mic down a little bit. Here, let me help.
Yeah, but if you turn your mic down, then you're quiet to me. The FK1's at the DMV getting inspected for state license plates. Actually, it's right over there in its actual home. See, I can be up here in the corner. Uncle Ron said we both sound pretty good now.
Oh, okay. I bumped my volume down a little bit and see if that. You can still hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I spent a very decent amount of time working on the FK1 through the week, and I printed the big benchy. Okay, not the big benchy, but this big benchy. This is a 250% scale benchy, and it turned out really, really good, other than I didn't get enough squish on the first layer, and these back corners lifted a little bit. So the biggest issue that I'm having now with the printer is initial bed level. I don't know why, but it's different every time. So, and I don't know if that's a BL Touch thing, but I have an idea on how I'm going to tackle that, and I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not going to share that with you. I'll share it with you guys later if it turns out to be good or bad, but for now.
Yeah. Where did that come from? Do you see that?
What?
The booger just deposited on the bed?
Oh,
that's
nice.
I don't understand what's going on here.
I get those if I run my PETG too hot.
I don't know where that came from. That's more than a booger. Look at this.
Huh. Nozzle's not leaking, is it?
I don't think so. Because usually I'd see it like dripping down the sides, although it's not there isn't a ton of visibility on.
Right. No, it's pretty well hidden. I think from the back is the best way to see it, depending on which extruder assembly that unit has. But yeah, so when I printed this benchy, it didn't finish until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And by then I was already asleep, so I came up to check on it the next morning, and it was complete, and I was pleased, except for there was an error on the screen, and I don't know if I can still get to that error. I don't know if I've cleared the console since then.
It said film exists between keyboard and chair.
It threw an error at, so I guess it didn't get done till almost 3. 2:40 and 45 seconds in the morning, it threw a temperature reading fault on heater 1, sensor open circuit. So that tells me that the thermistor opened up on the hot end. 3 seconds later, it finished printing the Benchy. It didn't stop. Even with the error, it continued to print for the 3 seconds or whatever, finished it. Then 10 minutes later, it threw an error saying it was shutting down due to uncleared heater fault after 600 seconds. So
I guess it gives you leeway. Like if the heater fails, you have so much time to respond to it?
Yeah, apparently, because it continued to print. The couple things that kind of caught me off guard is why didn't it shut down when the print was finished? I mean, it should automatically turn off, so I have to check that to make sure that that's proper. And then of course, why was the thermistor open? Well, it was a broken wire again. And I don't know if I saved it. I might have thrown it away. I'm using that super flexible silicone wire, and it was breaking. So I guess backstory of the whole thing was originally that harness ran through cable chain that I printed myself, designed and printed, and the wires were breaking inside of that. So I took it out of the cable chain and just put it in a wrap and just kind of had it hanging. And I didn't like that. So the other day I took it and secured it to the old cable chain mounts and had it go up over like this. But apparently that still wasn't good enough and it broke it. So it is now in, hold on to your chairs, store-bought cable chain. I bought this cable chain 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And to replace that particular one and never did it. But so we're going to see how that holds up. I rebuilt the harness again, got it inside a cable chain, designed and printed the mounts for it, got it mounted. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I'll wing the camera over there. So there's my store-bought cable chain. And it fits nice and I don't know. We'll find out. And I didn't over constrain the wires this time. I think that a lot of the problems were because I was tying it down at both ends. I think I just had too much constraint on it. And it was very disappointed in me. So Mitch said store-bought cable chain is better. I don't know what you're talking about, Mitch. The upside is this one has significantly more interior space based on size compared to what mine did because the walls don't have to be as thick. So, and it was cheap. It's just an off brand. I think I paid like $10 for it. And this was the extra afterwards. So it comes plenty long. I think it was a meter. So I don't know. We shall see. Wireless printhead. Well, it's funny because I had made the comment that somebody needs to come up with a system like the CAN bus so that you don't have to have so many wires running to the extruder. And then later I found out that Duet was working on it and they now have it with the Duet 3, but it would be a significant investment. But you only have to have 4 wires going to your hot end. You have to have a power, a ground, and 2 data wires, and that's it.
Oh, and then you have a circuit board on the hot end or whatever that controls everything else.
Yep, everything is done through network and then FETs and stuff on the other end.
That makes sense.
It's genius. I absolutely love it. It would be like a $600 investment.
So what they need to do instead is toss in one of these Arduino Wi-Fi enabled Arduinos, and then you'll need to have power and ground going to it down to 2 wires, and then everything else comes off the board.
Everything is sent wirelessly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Mitch is saying. Wireless printhead. Well, and then you could just put batteries. You could just put batteries on your extruder, so you don't have to run wires to it at all.
No. Just like wireless charging technology, induction charging, induction hot end. Just don't put your hand in there; you'll get cancer.
Just cut it off. Like you reach in to check the filament, your hand just disintegrates.
So I think what happened is yesterday, I guess the weekend's gone by really fast. Yesterday, I started a print and I walked away, and I checked it like an hour later, and it was dragging. Well, here's the print. It was dragging this around the bed and still continuing to extrude.
Nice.
So I think what happened is it coated the heat block in PLA, and I came down, pulled it off. I thought it came off clean, and I started the next print, and it's finished one since then. But when I just look now, like the side of it was covered, but it doesn't look like it's leaking out from around the nozzle or from the top. So.
Maybe there was just still a chunk of it sitting up there, and
yeah, it was just because like I didn't wait for it to cool down before I restarted the print. I adjusted some stuff and let it go.
Gotcha.
So it's possible that the process of it cooling down and then heating up again dislodged it. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so I've been working on a new Raspberry Pi case that I don't know if this will mean anything to anybody, but waiting for the camera to pick it up.
I was gonna say I can't see it. There you go. Oh, because of the delay.
Yeah. So there's I guess I can go for this one. This one's instantaneous. It's just it's a very light gray. So it's modeled after an old IBM cool. PS2 Model 30. That's
so cool to me because that was like the first IBM PC that we ever had in the house. And I forget, I want to say that my mom bought it from a store that was called Service Merchandise, which they're like long gone out of business, but she got it super cheap, but it didn't have a hard drive in it. So you had to play everything off a floppy.
There are plenty of those units because back then they used to, and maybe I'm getting it wrong, but back then the hard drive floppy drive bay was kind of like interchangeable. So you could like slide the floppy out, slide a hard drive into it type thing.
Yeah,
so
not the one that we had.
Well, a lot of them were sold basically with dual floppy drives. So you had floppy here and floppy here, and then some of them just had a single floppy and an empty space where you could stick a hard drive.
Yeah, I think that's how ours was.
So.
But yeah, we only had it for like less than a year, and then bought had a custom clone machine built. And then not long after that, I had my first clone machine built that I paid a ridiculous amount of money. I think I paid $2,400 for it, and we're talking early 90s. But the CD-ROMs were brand new. It cost me $500 just for the CD-ROM drive. So
I remember in high school, the first guy that got his CD burner paid like $8.99 for a Plextor.
Plextor?
Yeah, 2-speed CD burner, and it was one of the ones that the CD went into a carousel, and then the carousel slid into the front of the drive.
Yep.
And he was selling burnt audio CDs for $20 a pop, and people were paying for it because they could get custom mixes on CDs. And he was using Napster to download stuff. And he was one of the first people I knew that had like cable or DSL internet. It was like, I think 10 megs down and 1 meg up or something like that.
Oh, I forgot I didn't change the camera back. So this, I want y'all to note the price up there in the corner.
$89.95, and it's shareware.
It's all shareware. So the guy who custom built my first PC was friends with the guy that made that disc, so I got one for free. But and it just lived in the CD player or in the CD-ROM because I didn't have any other CDs. But yeah, it's all just shareware, and I like to pop it in once in a while and look through it, and it just kind of makes me chuckle at the things that we had back in the early 90s. So this was actually made by a guy who ran one of the local BBSs. So it was like all of the software that he had on his BBS, and he just put it on a disc and was selling it at $90 a pop.
I wonder if he ever sold one.
Yeah, he did actually.
To you? No, you
nope,
said you got it for free.
I got it for free, but fall of 1992. Good old shareware.
So he was selling other people's software, which was to be distributed. And a lot of that shareware stuff, you would install it, and it would come up with a message saying, "This is shareware. If you paid money for this, contact the person and get their money back."
But he wasn't actually selling the software.
He was selling the service of having it burnt on a disk.
There you go. Yeah, and I want to say that it says that in here somewhere, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's oh, it's good stuff. And then they came out with those 5-foot 10 packs, which was like, it was 5 CDs in this long, or 10 CDs in this long thing of pouches, and I was so excited to get that because it had Doom, and I finally got it. It was like $60, and I got it and found out that Doom was a shareware.
So it was like the first missions or whatever.
It was the shareware version. I'm like, oh.
I just lifted the Prusa and moved it back while it was printing, so we'll see if that screwed anything up. Your first layer is not that important. As I learned from watching a show called The First Layer is the least important. It's not like it's the layer everybody sees or anything, you know?
Depends on the print. That textured sheet hides a lot of sin on them first layers, though. Oh, Tom Lama said charge the 2 8mm rods if using them and do like electric trains to pull the power from them. It's a pretty good idea. What sort of software is on the disk? Oh, that's some good stuff. So we have some accounting software, some animations, an antivirus. I bet that's really useful now.
I bet you there isn't a single virus from 1992 it doesn't know about.
There's some archive utilities. There is, which would be what, PKZip and
Zip.
I don't think that WinZip was around back then, was it?
92? No, I think WinZip actually came out in 93. I think that's how close we are, though. Let's see. I'm going to Google it.
Google it. So there's some assorted utilities, communications, database/spreadsheets, diagnostics, testing, and bench utilities, education/kids. There's kids on here, apparently. Food and health, games, general pictures. There's like a whole section of GIFs, which back then was just amazing to have anything moving. Graphic tools.
91 is when the first version of WinZip was released. So yeah.
Oh, that's probably on here then. Magazines, multitasking. There's OS2 utilities on here.
I still have a copy of OS2 Warp 4 somewhere.
I do as well. I think it's in a box in the garage, but
I think it's in a still sealed box because it came with an IBM PS2 486 computer, and it came with both of them, and Windows was pre-installed, and it was from a car dealership. They never bothered to. So,
yeah, my copy was actually given to me by Microsoft, by IBM.
By Microsoft would be funny. It's like, have our competitor's product. We don't want it.
Yeah, well, it was because we were starting to support the University of Central Florida, and they used a lot of it out there. And so my boss was like, "Here, take this home and learn it." And so I spent like 3 days with it, and they're like, "Okay, you're now the expert. You know more about it than everybody else. Go support UCF." And I'm like, "What?
What's really funny is the copy IBM PS2 Warp 4 that I have has a Windows 3.1 compatibility layer built into it.
Nice.
Yep. You know what's messed up? I bought a brand new Raspberry Pi 4 kit, and I have no idea where I put it. It arrived like 2 weeks ago, just before my birthday. I don't know what I did with it. I know it was by the couch upstairs at some point. I'm disorganized.
I can totally relate to that.
Kay and I were talking like, okay, what do you want me to clean? Because she's got to work till 7 this week. I said, what do you want me to clean while you're working? She says everything.
Sorry, I'm going to actually take a call live, just long enough to hang up on it. It was the pharmacy, and if I don't answer it, then they leave me a voicemail, and then I have to go in and clear it. Scott said I have a 20 megabyte MFM drive for the PS2 in my basement.
With that dual ribbon cable, kind of looks like a 5 1/4 floppy ribbon cable wiring mess that went to it. And those things took forever to spin up. It's like...
Yeah, that's right. It had a wide one and then a more narrow one.
Yep.
You should change the title to the Disorganized 3D Printer Guys.
That'd be fitting.
Yeah, but like 3D printing wise, I'm organized. Look, I cleaned up back there and stuff. I cleaned up most of what you guys can't see up here. I guess if I don't know if my overhead's working. No, it's not.
That's why I have all these extra cameras. They're covering up the fact that one side of my office or my workspace is completely a disaster right now.
Uncle Ron's asking about my eyes. I actually had a doctor's appointment last Wednesday, and they called Tuesday night and asked if I wanted to see a different doctor or if I wanted to postpone the appointment because my doctor's out on maternity leave. Sorry, and so I said, no, let's postpone it so I don't have to go back till October. But as of now, it seems to be fine. There's still a little tiny bit of distortion in there, but I have to actually go looking for it. So, John Clark said he just got an Elegoo Mars, had a couple failures, stuff coming unstuck from the platform. I still have not even fired up my my chemical mess printer.
I know with the the Shine that I have, the Flying Bear Shine, the #1 issue for stuff coming detached was not cleaning the printing surface with isopropyl alcohol in between cleans. I would try and get away with doing like 2 or 3 prints in a row without doing it, and it would always bite me in the butt. The nice thing is, though, unless you're far into a resin print, okay. So that being said, I don't know what the build surface is on the Elegoo Mars. I don't know if it's safe to clean it with alcohol before I say that's going to solve your problem.
Yeah, he's going to come back next week and say I cleaned it with isopropyl alcohol and it ate it.
Yeah. But because isopropyl alcohol dissolves the resin, it ends up being cleaner. The nice thing about resin printing, though, is if your resin print fails on the first layer, you don't end up wasting a ton of material, right? Because it keeps curing in the same spots or whatever. So you only lose 1 layer's worth of material.
Oh yeah, it's an interesting thought. I didn't think about that, but
it's not like resin or FDM printing where it just continues to spit out plastic all over the place and make a mess.
So this project that I'm working on is based on an ESP32.
I have like 5 of those things.
And it literally worked one time. Like it fired up one time, and now I don't know what's going on.
Well, whatever it is, I'm sure it's your fault.
I'm sure. Maybe I'll try flashing it again and see.
Not safe for work.
I need the secondary glasses.
I like how I have one of these that finally succeeded, except for it lifted in the corners and warped. So it's a PS2 warp. There you go. I'm only realizing now, as I'm continuing to print this over and over again, trying to get it complete, that I haven't test fitted to make sure any of the screws and stuff fit where they're supposed to. Which would be a super useful thing to do with a print that's technically accurate but imperfect. Technically accurate but imperfect. That was my name in college.
CNC. You can run a CNC off of a ESP32.
I'm not surprised by that.
That would be pretty awesome.
3 steppers in 1 spindle, right?
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah.
Far less going on than on a 3D printer.
All right. Transmit to receive. Receive to transmit. Yeah, no, this project's a secret. I can't tell you guys what it is. You just have to wait because it's going to be a video.
I mean, you could plug your Patreon and say that you're going to let your patrons know about it first.
I'm really bad about that.
I haven't quite figured out where the tolerances are for my M2 screws when I'm 3D printing holes that are meant to take an M2 screw. You know what I mean?
Wait, what was that?
I know exactly how big the holes I need to make are if I'm making a hole that's supposed to thread an M3 screw, but I haven't quite figured it out for M2, so these are a little bit tighter than I want them to be.
Oh, I gotcha. I was thinking about starting a new segment on this show called "What Grinds My Gears." I was actually going to get the graphic from the Peter Griffin.
Yeah. And superimpose your head over his.
No, I was just the little graphic that he puts up in the corner.
Oh, okay.
But so I don't know. Some people might know this, some people might not. But I have a 1992 Chevy Silverado pickup truck that I bought new in '92, and I drove it for like 86 or 87,000 miles, and the paint was starting to peel off of it, like most '90s GM products do. So I worked out a deal with a local body shop where I was doing all their computer work, and they were going to paint my truck for me. Well, we went from a repaint to, it was supposed to be like a 2-week project, into shaving door handles and smoothing the body and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I've now been working on this project since, I can't even remember. It had to have been mid to late 90s. So, but regardless, it's been in my garage. It's completely disassembled. There's no motor, transmission, anything in it. I've taken the whole entire interior out. All wiring harnesses, 1843. Thanks, Uncle Ron. So I have been looking for a Chevy donor with a 454 big block in it. And I now have my eye on one that's coming up on auction on Tuesday. And so far the price is very good. In fact, it's sitting about $500. And
I'm gonna go bid on that. That sounds like a good.
Yeah. Good luck. And where I'm going with this story is that I thought that I could do a public service announcement for anybody out there that's looking to sell a car. So if you're going to sell a car, definitely the place to sell it is on Facebook Marketplace. Not like a car site. Definitely go to Facebook Marketplace. Do take pictures of the car, but make sure that they're at nighttime or blurry or like really far away or really close up. Don't take pictures of all sides of the car and include the interior. Only shoot like one picture. And if you don't really have time, I know that you want to sell your car, but if you don't really have time, just dig through your phone and find a picture that you took of your friend that the car is kind of in the background, and just use that. The other fun one is if you have crashed the car, don't take current crash pictures of it. Use a picture of it from when you first bought it, but then put in the description, picture is old picture, car is now crashed. These are very important things to do when you're trying to sell a car. Also, don't actually put the price that you're looking to sell the car for. Put like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, because people want to pay $111,111 for your 1986 Pontiac Bonneville. Dan said, or have your thumb block half the shot, or definitely put your thumb up to block your license plates, because license plates aren't out in public all the time anyway. So definitely cover that up before posting a picture of your car on the internet. Mitch said, I feel like Glenn has been burned a few times. It just drives me crazy at the point that you want to sell something. Oh, also another really important one before I forget. It is super important, not only when selling a car, but when selling anything. Do not research market value of what you want to sell. Just arbitrarily pick a price. Most likely way more than what it's worth, because it's worth that to you, and you want more money because you want to buy something else. That's also important, but oh, I hate the ones that like don't put a price in at all, or just put $1 and then you go in and they're like $7,500, or the car lots that do it and it'll say like,
please contact us.
Well, like, no, there'll be a price like $700 and you go in, it's $700 down, and you look at the car and you're going, no, that car's worth $700. Or like one car lot that I found yesterday had a vehicle and it said price posted is after down payment. But then they didn't say how much the down payment was.
Well, it's the rest of it.
yeah. Like it could be another $8,000 or whatever, like, oh my gosh, it just.
Would you say it grinds your gears?
Yeah. So I think those are good, helpful tips. We should mark this spot in the video so that if any of you guys out there are ever looking to sell a car, you can come back and reference this, or sell anything. It doesn't even have to apply to a car. So
I'm trying not to tilt my chair so far that I fall.
You fall, I will laugh. It's just a natural instinct.
James died, but it sure was funny.
It was darn funny as he was hitting his head on the way down.
Run away.
Oh. Well, thank you for entertaining my rant.
Hey, we just wanted to know what grinds your gears, buddy.
It just, I don't know. I mean, you get pictures that are like super blurry, or a guy selling a 4-wheel drive. So this kind of stemmed. I mean, I am watching this one at the auction, but I'm also looking for a newer interior. My truck's a 92, and I'm looking for a 95 or 96 interior because I like the dashboards better. So that's what I'm researching. And there was a guy that had the K series, which is the 4-wheel drive. And the picture that he chose to use was the truck stuck in the mud. And like there's a guy out there with a shovel digging out the back tire. And in the description it said, never been off-roading. But yet he's got a picture of it stuck in the mud. Unless that was the road. Maybe he was just stuck in the road.
Yeah, you don't know what was going on that year. It could have been flooding.
Oh, good times, good times. All right, I'm going to step off camera for a moment. I'll still be able to hear you and speak to you, but I have everything set up to flash on my other machine, so.
Well, this is the James channel now.
It's the Fun James channel.
We have no Xanders.
Yeah, me either.
Ouch. Tough but fair. Interior crocodile alligator.
See if it takes the flash.
Nothing can beat the flash.
It has been so long since I have flashed anything Arduino or ESP, or like I had to like dig around and research how to do it.
I had some issues with my first flashing thing, and then I started working on that project that I was talking to you about.
Yeah.
Everybody has secret projects these days.
Well, my wife keeps getting on me, telling me that I need to do more content. I need to make more content. And I
You
would
do.
agree with that. I
mean, do you even own your channel at this point?
I've never owned my channel. I sold out right in the beginning.
Attaboy.
Oh, my channel is owned by so many people that aren't me.
So I made these holes specifically in this model so they'll take an M2 because two of the holes go through the pie. So like the screw goes from one side of the case through the pie and then into the other side of the case.
Okay.
And I didn't have anything M2.4 or whatever, or so I thought. So I have M2, so I'm like, okay, I'll just make it so the M2 goes through it. So the ones I was just trying to screw, it turns out are M2.4, and I'm trying to put them into a hole that I made for an M2, and I'm like, oh, I guess I got the measurements wrong. Whoopsie poopsie, as they say.
Well, the case that I designed for this project, that's all you get to see. It's the first enclosure that I've done that snaps shut. It doesn't use any hardware. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty cool. So I might start doing a little bit more of that, because otherwise everything I've ever done is
3D modeling is very relaxing for me. I enjoy it a lot. I feel bad for Mad Mike. Every time I work on something, I immediately send him a screenshot. It's like, here's this thing that I'm modeling. It's just a cube right now, but it's going to be something even better.
Yeah, there's like no power indicator or anything on this ESP. I can't tell you which one it is because it might give away the secret. Oh, speaking of secrets, we have a special guest next week. Not going to tell you who it is. I might give out some hints over Twitter this week, but
I was about to blurt it out right there. Good thing,
Yep.
good thing I didn't.
No, I'm excited. Yeah, because of the interruption or the issues that we had in the beginning, I didn't get to tell you. There's two stories I want to tell you, but we can't do it on screen. There was the one where you know I was.
Person.
What's that?
One of them relates to the other person I was complaining to you about.
Right, and then one about our special guest. So, put your
It's still the
tongue in
same
the
special guest, right?
What's that?
It's still the same special guest, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's just a cyborg now.
No, Uncle Ron, I have this thing called a meter. I do still check 9-volt batteries that way.
Licking them?
Putting your tongue on it, yeah. All right, let's see if it's got an IP.
I'm committing the cardinal sin of putting glue stick onto my textured sheet because I decided I really want this to have that textured finish on it. Then I have to go through the effort of actually cleaning all this crap off of it later.
Yeah, it's like suddenly not getting a network connection.
I did complain about somebody. There's somebody that, and I'm not going to get into it, but there's somebody that was calling some stuff conspiracy theory essentially on Twitter. And then somebody backed up with facts, and he said, I don't trust those facts because they're politically motivated. And he was saying it was politically motivated because of the election in the States, except for the sources, the actual information provided
Is worldwide.
What? It was from, yeah, it was not at all from the States. And when confronted with that, they basically said that they were going to ignore it. And then ultimately, used the situation to plug their product. Well, if you're going to do this, I've seen lots of people use this to do this. That's my favorite part. This isn't really happening. This is a conspiracy, but buy my product.
Yeah, he's a piece of work, that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to try a completely different ESP board, and we're going to see how that goes. Means I'm going to step off.
Have you been reflashing successfully?
What's that?
Dan just figured out it was him.
Yeah, it's you, Dan. We weren't going to tell you, but man, you really got to straighten up. No, and you know, the thing is like, I don't owe this particular person anything, and I could absolutely just
never talk to them again and be perfectly fine.
Yeah, but you know, well, and I could spill the beans, but it's not really cool to do that. And it's not that I wouldn't say it to his face.
Tristan, I'm going for repeatability. So like, I'm going to be posting this design later. I want other people to be able to use it. So I want to get everything. Also, I have to reprint it anyways. The corners warped on it. It did not stick very well to the bed. These darn Prusa printers are so unreliable.
That's a tough part about being a content creator too. When you do stuff like this, that you want others to be able to redo what you've done.
Yep.
So you can't cheat on things.
And I get messages all the time about tutorials like this tutorial doesn't work anymore. And I've actually like on some of my tutorials gone and repeated exactly what I did. So like wiped out a device, started from scratch, repeated the process. And I'm like, no, it does. They're like, no, it doesn't work anymore. And I've had a couple of things where it legitimately didn't work anymore. There's been changes to whatever. But I try to make everything as sort of I don't want to say idiot proof because the people aren't idiots, but like as novice proof as possible, right? Like if you've never done this before and you know how to use a keyboard, hopefully you can just follow these steps and repeat my.
Well, yeah, because it sucks when you go to follow a tutorial and they either assume stuff or like, you know, situations like what I'm working on right now, it takes special libraries. And a lot of times, like people won't tell you what libraries that you need to go get and install under the Arduino IDE, and then it doesn't work for you.
So you need special libraries. Okay, so you're gonna have to stop giving away details, or somebody's gonna guess.
Everything that you use in the Arduino IDE that's not an Arduino, you need a special library.
Right. But it has support for the ESP wireless modules out of the box, does it not?
No.
Oh, okay. It's been a while. I've been running the same Arduino IDE for I don't know how long. So.
Well, and I did too, and I've programmed other ESPs, but for some reason it wasn't in there. So I don't know. Building an Arduino. Oh, an Android. I'm building an Arduino from scratch. They're just too expensive to buy them. That was the first thing that I ever bought out of China. Was an Arduino.
I mean, I've got a bunch of them because the thing is too is when I order them from China, I order like 10 of them.
Well, like I had bought my first Arduino as Radio Shack was going out of business. I had looked at them and I knew I wanted one, but I just never bought one. And then Radio Shack was going out of business, and I got one at 50% off. And then doing research, all of a sudden I find out that you can buy them out of China for like $6. And like, I don't know what they are now, but I'm like, no, that can't be real. And so I just ordered one to see, and took like 2 months to get here or whatever. And I still have it and it works great. And I'm like, this is nuts. But I don't know. I own probably 6, maybe 7 originals and 3 or 4 knockoffs, clones, whatever you want to call them.
It did not stick.
It did not stick.
It did not. I need to stop messing around with this and just get this done. The other thing is too is this material. was double the price I usually pay for PLA, and then the roll itself is only 750 grams, not even a full kilogram, because I got it specifically for some old computer reproduction stuff I wanted to do. And so I bought 2 rolls of it, and I've been wasting too much of it. So let's just go for the PEI sheet, the smooth alcohol wiped.
Did you see what Tristan said? He said try heating the screw with a soldering iron a little and then screwing it in.
Yeah, so that's what started the conversation about repeatability, is that I need to get the tolerances right so other people can...
Sorry, I was over there when that...
That's fair. I also just realized that after I changed the model, I never resliced it. I just started printing the same file again. Now, I will say that on smooth surface, the PLA has been very repeatable, no problems. And the textured surface, once I got it properly cleaned, is printed PETG flawlessly, and I've been very happy with it. I've just had issues interchanging the two, and I wouldn't use the smooth surface ever for PETG. Words are hard.
I just don't use smooth surfaces ever. Well, this is really disgruntling because now even this one's not responding.
You broke them. You broke them all.
It's taking the programming fine. Let's see. Let's move it down here.
I forgot to put a hole in here to access the micro SD card.
Man, why do they make these holes so little?
I'm actually slightly concerned I may not have left enough space for the card, because I know it sticks out a little bit.
Broken wire, always a possibility. It's a really nice meter, and it's like just a cheapy $35 one off of Amazon. But man, it's nice. And it has saved me so much hassle on stuff. In fact, I was able to diagnose the capacitor on my air conditioner the other day with it.
That's one of the most common things that go wrong on an air conditioner.
That is correct.
And then the compressor can't start and the fan doesn't spin and everybody's having a bad time.
Yeah, here. Oh, I think Uncle Ron wins. Busted wire. Here we get ants in the contactor.
Oh, and then
the ants get in there to eat the carbon, and then all of a sudden it kicks in and smashes them inside of there, and it doesn't make contact anymore. All right, well, I'm gonna go pull another one of those. Make sure that's what it is. And then I personally really hate micro USB now that USB-C is around. And for whatever reason, when I picked to do this project, I went ahead and ordered micro USB breakout boards. It's like, why didn't I get a USB-C one? An ear would get stuck in my contacts. Yeah, well, it was a Friday. No, it was a Thursday afternoon, and Grant, my tenant, comes to me and says, I think something's wrong with my air conditioner. So I went to look at it, and it was just humming. There was no running, and the contactor was pulled in. And around here, there was no getting the capacitor the same day. So I had ordered one from Amazon, but I also then the next day I found a local air conditioning supply company and went and got one. So it was only like $15 to fix it.
Ours died a while ago, and I had to contact, like, I couldn't get one locally, and Amazon was a 2 to 3 week wait for it. And it was like, I mean, it was 35 or 36 degrees Celsius here. And with Kayleen's MS, she can't take the heat. She starts to go numb when it gets too warm and stuff like that. So I ended up paying a guy to come out, and they charged me $80 for the capacitor, and it was a $15 capacitor. And
right.
$120 for the diagnostics and $100 for the installation. And I called them and I said, this is what's wrong with my air conditioner. I just need the capacitor. Can I buy one? They said, we don't sell the parts. We have to send a technician out. So he showed up, and I said, this is what's wrong with it. I just want you to swap the capacitor. He's like, nope, I have to do a full diagnostic on it. I can't just take your word for it. I was like,
wow.
Come on.
Oh, hey, Chris. Nereus is here.
How's it going, buddy?
Welcome.
What else could you say except you're welcome to hang out here for a bit?
Mitch said USB-C is the way to go. I'm trying to convert most things over. I don't know why. I don't know why I ordered the micro USB.
It's because you hate yourself, Glenn.
Once you have anything that's USB-C, it's like you never want to go back. Because you don't have to worry about which way you plug it in. You just plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
All right, we got voltage there.
I'm going to try and shrink this case down a little bit, but that complicates some other stuff. Oh, well.
We have voltage at the board. See if it'll pick up an IP address. See, now I want to go back and try the first one again.
What'd you change?
Well, I changed that this wire's not connected to the power board anymore.
Sorry, let me bring you back up. Which one? Oh, you think it was shorting something out?
No, it just fell off.
Oh.
So I don't know if I wiggled it around too much. I don't know that was the issue, but I am getting voltage now, so. And I know the IP address where the other one was sitting, so. Tiny holes. Definitely don't want to put the voltage on the ground side.
USB-C has made everybody's lives easier. Except for Apple users.
They deserve it. Oh, give that a second to boot up. Wire he used from the FK1. Man, I bought what I thought was good wire for that thing, but again, I think I might have been over constraining it as well, and just from the movement, it was plucking it, and that I don't know if I saved that or if I threw that away, because with the silicone wire, it's really easy to find the breaks. Well, I threw it away, but it's here. So I don't know if I'll be able to show you where it is. See that? See that hard kink?
Yep.
That's where it's broken. And of course, I went up to it and just grabbed the harness and moved it, and all of a sudden it was negative 250 degrees.
Well, lots of respect for you, Glenn. I've never seen anybody share their kinks live on stream.
That's a kinky thread or stream. All right, let's see if that gave it an IP address. I don't know. Yes.
Infinite Wi-Fi power. So I thought that was true, and then I had somebody that watched one of the Apple things or whatever, and they weren't switching it for the next generation of iPhones, except for maybe in Europe where they've made it law. I could be wrong. I don't follow the Apple ecosystem at all.
I I know the reason behind it. It's so that they can sell more accessories, but I don't understand why they don't just give in. It makes everybody happy. I hate having to have multiple charge types through the house. And then I started buying the magnetic ones where you just put the little plug in on whatever it is, and then you snap the magnet connection to it. And it comes with all the different ones, which is pretty great. And it keeps the kids from breaking the charge ports. Really, it's just one kid, but that's okay.
Xander?
No, Zach. Zach's really hard on stuff like that.
That's fair.
Because if it's not charging fast enough, he thinks he has to push it in harder.
Oh, kids.
Yeah, it's working now. So that's what it was I ended up busticating the wire. Just gonna have to use better wire. I was rushing to get it to that point before the stream so that I could play with it during the stream, and then I want to share it with you guys, but I'm not gonna.
Are you going to share it with me?
Yeah, after the stream.
Is that story number 3?
Sure. We might have to cut the stream off early so that we have enough time to cover all this stuff. It smells like my wife's cooking already. It's good. I'm hungry.
What's for dinner tonight?
I have no idea.
I think we're having pulled pork because we cooked in it. So friends of ours were coming over to visit yesterday, and my wife prepared like a full 5-pound pork roast or whatever as pulled pork, and we just finished cooking. And they were coming over because they had some potentially bad news coming, and we figured we'd have an afternoon sort of away from it. And they got the phone call like 2 hours before they were supposed to come over and said, "We're gonna have to bail. We gotta travel for this thing." So we had pulled pork last night. We have like probably 10 servings of pulled pork in the freezer and still 4 out. So
wow.
we left pulled pork out for tonight. Then we're doing pulled pork pizza tomorrow, and then we put the rest in the freezer.
Soon you're gonna hate pulled pork. Are you cooking?
I'm just making chicken nuggets.
Oh, I just knew I smelled some.
Yeah. Did you want some?
Not during the stream. I look goofy when I'm eating on stream. Chris is right. He said that's why Sony keeps failing, because their memory sticks and mini discs and everything being proprietary. Mitch said he has the floppy disk Mavica camera. Dude, when those things, I wanted one of those so bad. I'm trying to think. The first digital camera I got from a pawn shop. A friend of mine worked there, and he called me up and he's like, "We just got a digital camera in. Are you interested?" And I went and bought it, and I can't remember what brand it is. I think it was a Canon, but I could be wrong. And I'm pretty sure I still have it, but it took 640 by 480 resolution photos.
Too fancy for this guy. The first digital camera I ever had was an HP one that Kay bought me our first Christmas together. And it took 1.3 megapixel cameras, and it came with an 8 meg compact flash card, and the screen on it smaller than like the $3 Arduino screens I buy.
Yeah, the screen on mine was only like this big.
It didn't even have a flash on it, so you had to hold perfectly still, or all the pictures came out blurry. And I was like, this does not feel like it's good enough to be a commercial product.
And yet now, I mean, this one is quite old, and you can get better ones, but this was something that I bought for Xander when he was like probably 4 years old. I mean, it's got a tiny little screen on it too, but this thing takes pretty decent little pictures. Do you remember that, Xander?
What?
This?
Yeah.
He would come out. I'd be taking a nap on the couch, and then like when I would download his pictures, there was like a picture like this far away from my face when I was napping.
And the camera still works.
It does. My ugly face didn't break it. Well, being that we still have just under an hour worth of stream, I'm going to do some soldering. I bought enough to build 2 of these projects. The one that I build ahead of time so I know what I'm doing, and then the one that I build for the video.
I tend to build multiples of stuff too, just to be safe. That's how I ended up with 3 of those arcade cabinets.
Well, and then stuff like, having to load the drivers and stuff. I've already done that now on my other computer. So during the video, I'll do it all on this computer so I can record it.
Every time I cough, I'm pretty sure I've got the COVID.
Oh, don't even joke about that. I mean, I know you'll be fine, but
I have concerns, obviously. And I mean, they're saying that nobody is necessarily fine. They're thinking that almost everybody that catches it, even if they're low risk, is going to have long-term health problems with it.
Oh yeah, they say that that it's permanent, like it's permanent problems.
Permanent lung and potentially heart and all this other stuff. And it'll be years before we know for sure the impact.
Yep. But please go out. Don't wear a mask.
We had 5,000 people at one of our public beaches here, which is not particularly a large public beach, on Canada Day, and I think they ended up shutting the place down because people weren't being, smart.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. It sucks. Everybody's been cooped up for how long and all that jazz, but...
Well, and now, here in Florida, we have the brain-eating amoeba.
I saw somebody die from that the other day.
A rare breed of brain-eating amoeba. It's like, of course, it's in Florida, but that's all right. I don't generally swim in natural waters anyway. Not that I ever had a problem with it, but when I got together with my wife, she won't swim in any water that you can't see the bottom.
That's
so
fair.
We just didn't end up.
Can I just say, like, I don't hate Cura. I've enjoyed using Cura for a long time, but as the more I get into Prusa slices, the more I enjoy using it.
Yeah, I hate to admit, but I just switched to the Prusa slicer. I was still using Slicer PE because I didn't want to have to go through and reset up all my profiles and stuff. And then recently I just bit the bullet and did it. And I like it. I like it very much.
Is it drastically different in terms of the way it works? Because it's still based on Slicer, right?
Yeah, it still runs on the Slicer engine. It just...
Sorry, Slick 3R. I keep forgetting how to say it properly.
Yeah. Just remember the last guy that said that's not with me anymore.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you riled up.
Get me all riled up. But no, I don't. I think that it works pretty much the same way. It just they added in more features. I think they've cleaned up the user interface quite nice. Some weird things that it doesn't. I know that it's controllable, and I haven't really played with it. But like when you go to, I don't know if you have your set to send directly to the printer.
I do not.
Okay, so I have it. Like you can send it to the Duet or to an Octoprint directly. So I'm not running around with SD cards, which is really, really cool function because I slice over there at that computer.
Yep.
But it puts, like in the name, when it generates the name, it puts now how long the print time is.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. Like I'm still saving G code and then sending it to my Octoprint install. Or well, actually, no, it's SD right now. I have a Pi ready to go. That's why I need the case.
But the thing is like when you're testing. So when I was making this case, I sent the test file and it was only like the first couple layers or whatever. So 20-minute print time. Then I make some changes and it's a 22-minute print time. So it's a different file. So then you got to remember to go back in and delete all the old files out of the Pi, out of the Octoprint.
I've been pretty impressed by how accurate the estimates are that come out of it.
Neri says he still prefers S3D. I hope they survive long enough to get V5 out the door.
I've never actually used Simplify 3D.
I haven't either. I had a chance to play with it on somebody else's machine at one point, and I don't know. It's really different. But I don't know, some people swear by it, and other people say that it's nothing to shake a
Right,
stick
Homer?
at. Is that the right term?
Okay, let's save this G code.
And apparently their support is terrible. But I don't have any personal experience with that.
Okay, inject. Click OK, pull the card. So there isn't a ton of quality difference from the Prusa and my tuned CR10.
Okay.
I will say that the polish is significantly better. Like the first thing is I've put a bunch of time and effort into my CR10, so that's stuff I don't have to put into the Prusa. But I think the overall polish on the firmware and everything is just significantly better. It feels like a much more commercial product.
Well, I mean, I've told the story multiple times about how I ordered my Prusa first, but ended up ordering my AM8, well, A8, building it and having it for 2 months before the Prusa showed up. And when the Prusa showed up and didn't have as good a print quality as my $150 Chinese printer, I was quite mad, but I hadn't done any fine tuning on the Prusa.
Nowadays, people say, well, even I was talking to Chris, and Chris was like, oh, you can just basically mostly stick to just the default profiles that come with it, and you should be happy. So,
Well, I use those default profiles for a lot of printers. I hate having to solder directly to these boards, but I didn't make the case big enough for any type of connector because I didn't want the case to be any bigger than it had to be.
that's fair.
And now I don't seem to have motor control enough to put heat shrink over the wire. All right, I'm gonna run my heat gun for a second. It's not too loud, but you get to enjoy it.
Not very loud at all. Just barely tell it's on.
Was that loud?
What?
Was it loud?
Is there a crowd? Kay and I used to watch a show called Boy Meets World. In the first season, the main character envisions his life at like 85 or 90 years old. And he's married this girl that it's his first girlfriend. And
Topeka?
no, it was before Topanga.
Topanga. There you go.
So he in this dream where he's in his 80s. He meets up with his best friend for the early bird special at the local diner or whatever. And he's stealing the dinner rolls. And they're talking, and he's like, "What? What?" And then he's like, "They want you to take the rolls." So Kay and I used to have back and forth, and all of a sudden I just burst out, "They want you to take the rolls." Nobody remembers it, just her and I.
Still trying to find a hardened 1.2 millimeter, not stainless titanium. They suck. Really want a plated copper 1.2 for better thermals, but don't want to go Volcano, too expensive. Would need to convert like 10 machines. Get with I don't know. I don't maybe get a 1.2 millimeter drill bit and drill your own.
There you go. Carl wants to know how your 1,001% benchy is coming. He said 1,000, but I corrected it.
Yeah, who'd stop at 1,000%?
We're 250%.
I
guess 1,000 is the next step for you then.
I gotta
250.
get a battery. Well, I was gonna go to a 500 next.
No, caution to the wind.
Caution to the wind. I got to get a battery backup for the printer. I'm not going to start a 5-day print without some type of battery backup on there.
He says that he already tried to drill his own, but the hole wasn't clean, and he got imperfections from he got artifacts from the imperfect drilling. Yeah, I think if you're re-drilling your nozzle holes, you have to go low, slow, and probably with a lubricant.
Yeah, I wonder what like a machine shop would charge to do that. Stefan from CNC Kitchen is making his own nozzles.
I've been watching or seeing the progress on the Twitters.
I don't know how well it's working out for him, but it's pretty cool that he's cutting that right from stock. I've always wanted a lathe, but I could just never justify. I have a little tiny, like a hobby lathe, but I don't really do anything with it.
I had a brass nozzle that caught the side of the bed at one point and shattered off the end of it. And I played with it until I could get decent prints out of it. Well, not decent. There's no, when you got a big jagged hole like that, you're not getting decent prints. But I was able to bump it up to like 1 millimeter, 1.1 millimeter, and get prints out of it that were not hot garbage.
Yeah, I don't know that the wire that I was using, which are these, they're the jumpers I use for breadboarding.
Yep.
And I just cut the ends off. They didn't solder very well. This soldered much nicer.
I just bought a roll of 100 meters of it's 24 gauge wire, but it's got that insulation on it that you can solder through the insulation.
Really?
Yeah. So basically the stuff like it's supposed to like shred and shrink. So you heat up over it. Ben Heck uses it all the time when he's wiring stuff where you have to have like multiple contact points. So,
what does that guy know?
Yeah. What the heck, man?
Whatever Maker has joined us. Hello, y'all. Just got finished doing honeydews.
The honeydew list.
Mad Mike said, drill shy of the size, then push abrasives through it till it's the correct size.
Well, you don't even have to drill it then. Just start with a 0.4 and keep feeding glow-in-the-dark filament through it till you're good to go.
Yeah, or carbon fiber.
Oh, that's a good way to get it done in probably, 15 minutes? Oh, look, I have a 1.75 millimeter nozzle now.
All right, it's in the case. Look, it's in the case. Can't show you.
But is it in the case?
But does it work? It's a stupid little project, but it's cheap and it's fun. So, and I went looking for cases for this particular board and didn't like anything that was out there. So I designed my own.
I think I made the top of this thicker than it needs to be for something that's not going to be moved around and stuff like that.
You know, I've had those same thoughts at times, and then when I redesign it to be thinner, I'm sorry that I did it. The case for the FK1, the electronics case, I made it 3 millimeters thick, and so like the third time that I was printing it because of the issues, I thought, that doesn't need to be thick. So I dug out underneath to make it thinner. I can't remember if I went down to 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, but it's like almost spongy. I mean, it's strong enough, but it's spongy.
The top of this is 2 millimeters thick, but it's not a large piece at all, right? And I'm feeling like, I don't know. I have a hard time gauging exactly how thick I want it to be. And then the thickness of the walls and the thickness of the actual like tops and bottom is a completely different thing, because obviously you don't really have to worry too much if this is at least say 4 layers thick about it breaking, whereas you only do 2 perimeters or whatever, and you've got weak spots on the side.
Yeah. Well, now I had a problem with the case for the bottom of my power supply on the AM8. I originally did that at 2 millimeters wide, but it was too flimsy. In fact, I broke the original one because I threw something to the garbage can and hit it. But then the new one that I printed, it broke when I put it on there. It was just like, it wasn't good. So now it's 5 millimeters thick.
Mad Mike asked if it's for the Pi 4. It's actually for the. I have an extra Pi 3B, so it's modeled for that. In terms of room for SSD, I don't think so. Let me see if I can. I don't remember how I have my camera set up, but I can.
It wouldn't be really hard to modify a Pi 3 case, like design wise. If you designed it for the Pi 3, it should be really easy to design it over for a Pi 4.
Yeah, it's literally the side with the HDMI port just needs to be adjusted.
I've still yet to order a Pi 4, and I really want to get one because I like the Pi case that I designed and have uploaded to Thingiverse. Check it out. But I don't know. I can't justify owning a Pi 4. I don't know what I would do with it.
So there's the case design. There is empty space on the side because I wanted to keep it so that the USB ports and stuff were at the back. Obviously, I could have made the case even smaller if I rotated around and had all the cables coming out the side, but I didn't want to do that. So power is there, USB is there. There is an empty space here, but I don't think that would be sufficient for.
It would be so cool, and I know that it'd be hard for them, but it'd be so cool if you could get like a mirrored Pi. Like if they would design it to where you could get like a left side, right side, because you could put 2 of them in there.
Just about. And then there's the top. So I changed, the only thing I've changed since the stream started, I put a hole in the front so you can get access to the micro SD card. And then I shrunk it from front to back a little bit because I needed the SD card to be close enough that you could, actually get access to it through that hole. But yeah, little blast from the past. Just close enough. I didn't write IBM anywhere on it, so.
BMI on it.
I just realized. I haven't noticed this in all the test prints. There's one of the pieces of this vent is missing.
Yes, it is.
So this happened the first time I built it, and I think the computer, I fixed it once, and because the very first version I printed, which may be lying around here somewhere, has that. And I think my computer crashed afterwards, and it must have been in between, like, that I fixed it in the save file. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's so little you didn't realize it.
It's definitely a small defect, but
that's funny.
Oh, yeah, didn't mean to do that.
He has a Pi 4 2 gig and wants to get a few of the Pi 4 8 gigs. I'd take a whole truckload of them 8 gig ones, but that's a lot of money.
I bought the 4 gig version. And it was after the 8 gig version came out, but I was not having any luck finding one. I just wanted something to play with. So.
Yeah, because money-wise, the 4 gig and the 8 gig are really close to one another.
$5 or something like that.
Yeah. So, well, that other project that you and I were talking about pertaining to the Pi, I don't know if I should openly discuss that. I mean, for me, it's not a project, but for my RetroPie.
Oh, right, yeah.
So what I did, and I don't know if it was necessary, but the image that I found that I wanted to use said that it was not for the B+. And so I shifted all my Pis around, my Octo prints around, and so now I have a 3B. But I haven't done anything with it yet.
Mike would like to know the empty space dimensions. Well, let's figure it out.
Wants to put another Pi in there.
So the empty slot, not including where the screw holes are, is 85 millimeters by 41 millimeters.
So you could actually put another pie. I don't know space wise, but you could put another pie in there if you had the ports poking out the front.
Yeah, the USB would be out the front, but then I definitely would be losing the aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, computers have ports on the front now.
That's true. Yeah, it's like it's old meets new. I can definitely modify it to take the Pi 4 if you're interested, Mike. And it wouldn't take. So if the depth is good, if 85 millimeters is as thick as you need it to be, or as deep as you need it to be, it would not take much for me to extend the other side, cut it, and then just expand the feature so that it's still somewhat within the proper dimensions.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody would ever measure it and be like, "Ooh, you're off, man." It's not properly scaled.
But like stuff like the floppy drive here, there's that latency. If I stretch it out too much, it's not going to look like a proper dimensionally, like it's not going to look right to the eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could stretch it in the space to my left. Like just in the dead space, depending on how much you're going to stretch it.
Well, figure out how much space. 85 works. I think I need 50 mil. Okay, well, adding an extra of 10 millimeters is not a big deal.
No, because you could even make like the power switch area like.
That's actually where I would do it. The power switch area is the least dimensionally accurate, so I'd probably just expand on that.
Yeah, you could make that power switch. In fact, you could find an actual switch that fits in there, make it fit a switch so you can turn the Pi on and off.
I've already done that for the NES case. I've got. Let's see if I've still got them in the bag here.
Tristan makes a good point. You could flip the Pi over and get the outputs to be mirrored. You're thinking outside the box, man.
That is actually like not to constantly be like I've already thought of that. That's how it is on the mini
but you didn't say it first, so Tristan wins.
But
I need to publicly say too that Tristan wins because the issue that I was having on the FK1 was 2 weeks ago was because I was using the back corner as my homing corner. And like, I don't know why I couldn't wrap my brain around that, but he was right. And when I moved it to the front, I went back and looked at my old configuration, and that's the way it was. And that's why it was causing me such grief. So thank you, Tristan, for that.
I remember that conversation.
He said put a USB power bank in there. That'd be pretty cool too. Run it off of batteries.
That's the way the original mini cabinet was. Remember? The first Murph I went to, I was walking around with the battery bank running it so people could play it in my hands.
Yeah.
Upside down Pi is how I did the NES mini. So it mounts onto the top upside down, and then the fan blows in from underneath. So it had to have.
It's not up there yet. There it is.
Oh yeah, there's a delay. Everything's delayed. But, anyways, I don't care about if this print succeeds and everything is good. I don't really care about that one missing spine for the vent. Tristan's always got good ideas. Not like that Glenn guy.
No. I used to have all the good ideas.
Okay, so once I know that this works successfully, I will look at modifying it for the Pi 4, and then I'll expand it out another 10 millimeters so you can... Because, well, the other thing you have to remember is you have to be able to run the cables for the SSD, too.
Dumb shit. I figured out why rice snacks are healthy. They just taste like stale potato chips, so you don't want to eat them. I don't know why I find that funny, but
tough but fair.
Oh, this project is already crapping out, man. I've lost connection to it already, and it was just sitting here.
Whoopsie poopsie.
It's not going to be reliable. It's not going to work.
I have so many, because I was going through. Sorry. I was supposed to show the mini power connectors that I've got. Look at these cute little things. This is I ordered a bag of 20 of these for the mini NES. I'm gonna put them in front of the camera here, and then about 20 minutes from now, you guys will actually get to see it. Look how tiny that is.
That is quite small.
And that it's not a non-momentary. It's self-latching. It's on, off.
Click on, click off.
Yep. So all the small electronics.
It's funny because it's true. It's funny, Cruz. It's Tom. Oh, you guys are hysterical.
Your cousin for a bruisin'. Cruising for a bruising. Womp, 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 womp. I need to stop buying things all the time because I keep buying things for projects and then not working on the projects.
Oh, I know. I have a whole pile of stuff over there on my desk that I found when I was cleaning yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah.
I got these 0.91 millimeter widescreen OLED displays, and I'm like, I remember which project I bought them for, and it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I couldn't fall asleep, and I thought of this project, so I hopped on Amazon, ordered the screens for it, and then the next morning I'm like, I don't even want to do that.
I ordered some Arduino screens. No, Pi screens. I think they're 3.5-inch Pi screens.
Is it the touchscreen one?
I can't remember if they were touchscreen or not, but I ordered them 4 months ago.
Is it this one?
I don't know because I didn't get them.
Oh.
So, and that's the problem. The guy kept telling me, just be patient. He kept extending my buyer protection time. And so I messaged him the other day and I'm like, dude, it says that they were returned to sender. I think it's time for you to refund my money. Oh no, it's because of COVID. Just be patient. So I ended up filing whatever they call it, not a complaint, but a
dispute. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to do that to those guys, but I mean, I gave them more than enough opportunity. I've waited 4 months, and for the last month, it said it was returned to sender.
Every time I've told them something got marked return to sender, they're always like, okay, do you want us to give you your money back or ship it out again? And the one time I was like, okay, just ship it out again. They're like, okay, we're going to give you your money back and you just reorder it. Like, okay.
Well, and I mean, I said to this guy, I said, look, it's not coming. If you want to send me another one, I'll, if you want to just send another one, I'll wait. I'll be patient. And so then he's like, okay, be patient. But he didn't send another one.
He was just telling you to be patient.
Yeah. Here he said, be careful, wait too long and you lose the right to dispute. Yeah, he was pushing he kept setting the buyer protection time out. But then I was like 4 days from it expiring. And I said, look, it expires again in 4 days. Oh, just be patient. And he didn't extend it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I had enough. So this project seems to work for about 20 minutes and then just ceases to work ever again.
I've had coworkers that are like that.
You're lucky you got 20 minutes out of them. I mean, if I can't make this thing work reliably, I'm not even going to bother with a video for it.
I mean, a video showing failure isn't that bad either,
No, but I mean, it would be one thing if it failed and I could get it to work. But I mean, if it's just a crap project, then it's not worth it. Yeah, and it's getting power. It's just the other problem that I've noticed too. My Wi-Fi network in the house is a hybrid network. It's a 2.45 gigahertz hybrid.
Yep.
And some of the older devices that only do 2.4 they don't like it. So that could be the issue I'm having too. But now all of a sudden I can't get a network connection on this thing.
Well, if we run out of things to talk about, I'll break out my melodica.
I'm not sure we need that.
I just want to make sure you get this video demonetized.
Mad Mike said, I think my neighborhood spent their collective stimulus checks on fireworks and shot them all last night. So I think it was Barnacules that posted the video to Twitter today from the news showing all the fireworks over LA, like all the illegal fireworks. And it was amazing. And I thought, boy, what if they would have sent out a second stimulus check that arrived on like July 2nd? Buying those Mission Impossible boards, self-destruct after one use. That's what it feels like.
I've started getting organized. I went through all my drawers and stuff and pulled out all the Arduino stuff and stuffed it all in the one box. So at least all of that stuff is now in one place. It's still a collective mess, but
yeah, I used to have like little drawers for certain things, and then other things would get put in there. And I am now working on putting everything FK1 related in the desk that the FK1 sits on, but whoever this K person is, she says the local construction company put on a heck of a show Wednesday, and we could see it right from our windows. It was huge.
yeah, we went and hung out in Kay's office, and they were nice and high. You could see them over the houses behind us, and scared the crap out of the cats. So
Oh yeah, my cats were going ballistic last night. Is that a conductive wood table shorting them out? This is actually a steel table that looks like wood. No, I don't know what's going on. It's getting power. It just
what if it's not them? What if your Wi-Fi does not like them? What if the router's upset by them and disconnecting them prematurely?
it thinks that it's somebody trying to hack in and
What the hell's this low-powered device on here? Glenn never feeds me anything but the premium stuff. Well, I gotta get this, but I don't want to fall.
all right, well, I'm gonna pull the power from it and I'm gonna release the IP address.
Then restart it and see if it starts up again.
Yeah, and see if it puts it in a same spot or different spot. Because it's just DHCP right now. I haven't picked a range to put it in.
The one thing I really love too about the Prusa is that it's got the time remaining on the display. It's a feature I like.
That's a nice feature.
I printed the parts for the CR10 that I use the most. Has a Bondtech extruder on it, and I'm switching it from Bowden fed to direct drive. I want to be able to support more materials with it.
All right, IP has been released. Tristan said, I think the ESP boards don't have a great signal range. Try moving closer to the router. It's actually, the hotspot is directly below that AMA right there. It sits on the floor so that it covers the upstairs and the downstairs. My router itself is a wired only router, but that's all right there in the rack.
A buddy of mine gave me one of his retired industrial D-Link managed switches, and he's like, it's only a 10 by 100. It's why it was decommissioned. It doesn't do gigabit, but for your networking stuff downstairs for all your printers and stuff, it'll be more than enough. I said that would be great. And I turned it on, and the fan on it, and it's like the fan's running normally. It's not like, oh, the fan needs to be replaced or whatever, is louder than any of my computers. Like, well, there's gonna be a real problem if I have to shut off my network every time I want to record a video.
Yeah,
I think it was going in the garbage though. So like, I still have it because occasionally, once every now it used to be once every 6 months. Now it's once every couple of years we do a LAN party, and 10 by 100 is more than enough for playing games over. So you just haul that somewhere, and it's I think it's 48 ports on it. So all you need to get everybody up and running.
Mike said his home network looks like mine. It's fun to have that much control. Yeah, it's assigning it the IP. I just can't connect to it. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it is connected though.
Is it pingable? Nobody has clicked in any ideas about the arcade cabinet. I posted on Reddit and I posted on Twitter, and you were actually the only one that responded to it, Paul.
I responded to it.
No, Paul did. Sorry, Polymate 3D. I put a post up saying I'm thinking about redesigning my the first mini cabinet I did, the free design, because it was one of the first projects I designed. So I think I could do better with it, make it easier to print and easier to assemble. So I posted saying anybody that's built, or well, anybody in general, what features would you like to see on it? And
I don't think I've seen that post.
well, I mean, there's so much activity in the community. I think stuff gets buried pretty quick.
Did you post it publicly or to the dark Twitters?
No, it's regular Twitter. I just tossed it up, but there's constant feed, so unless you refresh at the right time. On Facebook, I think, or on Reddit, it didn't get uploaded.
Paul, are you talking about like this space? Yeah. I put the FK1 into its own home. Let me see if I can back that camera up so you guys can see. Give everybody motion sickness. I didn't know if I was going to be running a print on that thing today or not, but
is the FK1 in printing state right now?
yeah.
Well, you should be printing something on it. It's too late now. No, I know. Well, but you said that was. I know that you've repaired the.
Yeah, I haven't printed since I repaired the cable and put the new cable chain on. I want to try. Tristan said a bad word.
Which one did he say?
He was trying to say Twitter, but he forgot the W. and
Oh.
YouTube blocked it. That's pretty funny. No, I want to, because again, it's always that initial layer. Like I end up having to play with the micro stepping, baby stepping. Sorry, the baby stepping in the beginning, and it's never the same. So it's the same. Like if I don't power the printer off, then it stays the same. But as soon as I shut the printer off and I rerun the G32 to re-level everything, then it's off by a little bit again. And
Tristan says I should post the message on YouTube, which I forgot about. I don't remember where I go to post something on here. Community, I guess. My last message on here was from over a year ago when I posted the video on my second channel, which has a total of a trailer and one video on it. I like how I thought at a time when, and like still don't have time to post regularly on my main channel, I was going to somehow start 2 channels.
just so you know, I did ping this. I had to Google to know how to do ping, but no, just kidding. Windows defaults to 4-packet. It was 2 and 2. It was a 50% loss.
Oh, geez. You need to move around, see if there's a can you you can't even get into it right now, right?
I can't load the web interface now. I'm wondering if it's is it too close to the Wi-Fi?
I guess that's something that can happen too.
I mean, again, a lot of these devices that don't have great Wi-Fi anyway do not like my hybrid network.
Right.
but that just means that these manufacturers need to get off their butt and start upgrading to 5 gigahertz. That was a 25% loss on that one.
That's getting better. Try refreshing a couple of times on the web interface and see if it comes up. Maybe you just have to hit it at the right time.
And that one is 100% loss. Oh, no. It came back destination host unreachable, but it said it's a 0% loss. Thanks for stopping by, Chris.
Take it easy. Okay, I put the post up. I'm gonna copy the link. Can you copy a link to this? Share. I'll just toss the link up in chat.
Yeah, it's not loading the interface at all. I don't know. That's just disgruntling.
We only have 8 thumbs up. Glenn, you're slacking, buddy.
Yeah. Nobody wants to give me a thumbs up because I won't tell them what the project is. I won't tell them who the guest is next week. Guys are going to want to tune in. I have a great idea for a YouTube teaser, or a Twitter teaser. Yeah, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, you're missing out, man.
Glenn's a hoot.
I'm a gas, man.
So I have to admit, my latest kick is designing miniaturized versions of older equipment and stuff like that.
Which is fun, yeah.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. So I've got the NES Classic that I've designed, like the miniaturized NES.
Right.
The IBM PS2 Model 30. I'm working on a design for a console called the Intellivision, which most people don't remember. It was the very first video game console I played, though. It's this giant wood grain thing. It competed with the Atari 2600, and it had a 16-bit processor in it.
That was the one that had the control with like the numpad on it, didn't it?
Yeah, I've got 3 of the original ones, and I've got right here. The Model 2 one is sitting in the shelf here. I don't remember how it's hooked up, so. But if you look up the Intellivision, Intellivsion, it's wood grain in black and gold, and it's everything the 80s thought was futuristic, I think. So that's the next one. I actually ordered these things. The controllers on the Intellivision are hardwired, but I've got 3 consoles and 2 of them don't work. And you can disconnect the controller. So I ordered adapters that allow you to convert them to USB controllers. So the entire thing is going to be like a little tiny one. I'm modeling the case after the Pi 1 because I have a spare one, and the only thing it's going to do is play Intellivision games. But anyways.
Tom said with the Duet, if you have inconsistent distance after homing, add a G92Z number at the end of the homing script. So the board knows, but it's not the same. It's inconsistent every time. Like I went through the testing and stuff, and I set in my config G file, I have a Z offset so that it knows how far the distance is from the FL touch to the nozzle and stuff, and it's close. I mean, but sometimes if I run it down to 0 with a piece of paper underneath there, it's stuck. ColecoVision, that might have been the one I was thinking of with the controller with the numpad on it.
They both have it. The controller, the controller somebody borrowed from somebody else. I've got both.
It had like a big knob joystick, right? Like
That's the ColecoVision. The Intellivision had a disc, and the disc had, I think, 16 points. So it was a more accurate control mechanism than the original joysticks. There's a new version of the Intellivision coming out this year called the Intellivision Amico. We now have 16 thumbs up. If we don't get to 20, then Glenn eats his feelings. So make sure we get 4 more of those.
Yeah, I spent the whole week crying into my pillow.
We still haven't answered the question, what's 3D printing? No one knows for sure. But
Well, for me today, nothing.
I'm 3D printing the case that I've already printed a bunch of times. I've given up on printing PLA on the textured PEI sheet, and I'm just going to go for what I can get.
Well, I'm sad that this project isn't working, but I'm pleased with the way that the case came out, which was fun to design, and it only took like about an hour to print both the bottom and the lid. It does need a few tweaks, but it's that big.
It makes sense. Mattel did the Intellivision and the Aquarius, so you tend to see some design similarities in the same company.
3D printing is making something over and over until you simply give up trying to make it better. Oh, I thought it was printing it over and over until you just go to the store and buy one.
Paul, you're giving away stuff. The mini LCDs that I showed earlier were for building a Pi system that displays the current game information while you're playing. That's what those OLEDs were for. That was my 2 a.m. idea. And then I woke up the next day and I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. That sounds like a lot of work. Paul is the one that 3D prints actual functioning speakers, like not just the cases, but the actual speakers themselves. I find the Prusa looks like it's moving so fast, but also doesn't print all that fast. I mean, I know you can turn the settings up and stuff like that, but so far it looks like it's sticking to the bed. So I do have a 5200. It is over in the corner here. You know what? Mind the fact that I'm wearing my painting shorts. But here. This is the Atari 5200. Come on. It is very big.
Wow.
I bought this in need of repair. It works. It had 2 broken controllers with it, and I managed to get 1 functioning controller out of it, but it definitely needs some work. This has been broken at some point, and then whoever had it before me glued it back together. Now, the weird... Oh, and it's got storage for the controllers at the top, so this thing didn't even need to be this big. I don't know if that's... Oh, wait, there we go.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
That piece keeps falling off. So the thing is, what was weird about this thing is that this cable is the only cable that comes off the system. So you plug it into a block that goes into the back of your TV, and video comes out of it, and power goes into it.
Wow.
Yeah. So the more you know. This thing's definitely seen water damage too, because the sticker's all wet and molded looking. Wasn't that fun?
Fun little walk down memory lane.
And this is the only system they use that particular controller design with. After this, they went back to the 9-pin type thing that they used on the Sega Genesis and the original Atari. So controllers were exceedingly difficult to get. Since I'm back here now anyways. This is the Intellivision 2. I'm going to sit down again because I'm not getting back up again. Ugh, my chair's so it slid out from underneath me. So there's the...
Yeah, that's the controller. Oh no, but yeah, that's the one with the pad, not the one with the. I remember the one with the joystick.
I have one of those too. The case is off of it because I was trying to do an AV mod to it. As you're probably aware, most of these consoles just have RF video out on them, so they have to connect to the back of the TV through coax.
Right.
But it turns out there's a bunch of blown capacitors on it, so I was getting bad video out through the RF, and it turns out that the reason I was getting bad video out through the RF is also the reason why I get bad video out when doing the composite mod. Yeah, I think there was also a let's see, trick with PLA on the textured sheet is hot, slow, and less cooling. I'm just gonna use the flat one.
Well, I have some really sad news.
What's that?
6:03.
Womp 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 womp.
Time is up, and my project has failed.
You'll figure it out, or you'll give up. Those are the two options.
Yeah, I was pretty much already on the edge of giving up anyway.
Now you did.
I don't know.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Maybe it's this power cord. We try a different power cord real quick.
There you go.
This power cord's like 10 feet long.
Oh, I just realized when this part fell, it broke. It was PETG. Womp womp.
Well, I mean, PETG's not indestructible.
Yeah, it's pretty thin wall there. I'm actually debating because it's. Where does it meet up? Like this.
Give up Glenn, new name. Well, Mad Mike 8, we were glad that you caught the whole stream anyway, as well. But
we're holding off for another 30 seconds or so Glenn can try another cable and see if it's the issue. Spoiler alert, it's not, but let's try anyways.
Well, I mean, if it's getting insufficient power, if it's not getting enough amperage. I guess we could do a little outro while we're waiting. You got anything you want to plug?
I'm James. Subscribe to me. I'm desperate for subscribers.
All of his information is in the description below. You know, I've for like the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks now, I've asked you all to do me a favor, and not one of you have been doing it. And that is, like bring a friend, man. Spread the word. Tell other people about it. If you think the stream sucks, tell us.
We won't listen, but
no, because really these streams are about us and not about you. But no, seriously, guys, I know I say it every week, but we do appreciate each and every one of you guys showing up because these streams would be senseless to do without you. Please make sure that you tune in next week because there is a special guest next week, and it's pretty great. And it's gonna be a big show, a really big show. And I will have teasers out on Twitters. Maybe I'll even put them out on my Facebook page, even though I don't do the Facebook thing very often. Again, remember all my tips and tricks if you're trying to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, be as obscure as possible about the way everything works.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't take good photos of the stuff you're selling because, why take 5 seconds? Oh, I forgot one. There's another really important one. Don't clean the car before you try selling it. Like if you're going to take pictures, like make sure there's crap all in the inside of the car and stuff.
If you ate a burrito today, make sure everybody that sees the pictures knows that you ate a burrito today.
Yeah, some McDonald's bags on the floor and stuff, yeah.
Your fries, the question, do you want fries with that? That's what you ask about the car.
Oh, you're going to get fries with that. They're going to be under the seat. So
no uncles, but plenty of aunts.
Yeah, this still isn't working, so I give up. Into the garbage can it goes. All right, no, not that bad.
3D Printing Llama says, freaking guy can't get his son to come on the show, but wants us to bring people. I don't have a son. That's rude.
I figured more people would show up without him on here. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to plug. Go unsubscribe from Xander's channel.
So I did not end up releasing a May maker box. We did the April live. we filmed the Maymaker box, and the audio was like it
Atrocious.
just drops out. It just goes to nothing. So I can't use it, and I don't want to reshoot it because it
It's
loses.
disingenuous.
What's that?
It's disingenuous. You've already opened it and gone through
That's
it.
it. I already know what's inside of it, so it loses its full effect. So I know probably none of you watch those videos anymore anyway, but I enjoy doing them. I love seeing what's in that box every month. But so the June box is here, so we'll be shooting. Yeah, the June box. The June box is here. We'll be shooting that pretty soon. And Tom says, "Dove it with funniness." I probably could, but again, it would take away from the product, and I think it would be just better to not have the video at all. So, and you know, like we do the I call them funny intros. I don't know if you guys find them to be funny, but you know, we always come up with a different way to bring in every time. And the good news is now we can reuse what we did because it worked pretty well. It just, unfortunately, bad audio. So, yeah. But anyway, so that's that. We thank you guys for tuning in. We love each and every one of you. I'm going to play the intro on the way out again. I should probably get that set up. But other than that, I don't think I really got anything. You got anything else?
21 likes.
21 likes.
We're
That's
up to
pretty good. Only
21.
30 watching right now. Thank you guys. Thank each and every one of you. And until next time, as always,
Print on.
on. How come it didn't play?